and they're looking at the sails, and they can physically see that they're being blown to the west, but they're looking at the GPS, and the GPS says we're going backwards to the east.
Yeah.
They go, how can that possibly
And that's
be?
in the Book of Mormon.
It's because the currents were stronger than the air currents.
Right.
The ocean currents
That is
were
so
going
exciting.
faster. So anyway,
and
yeah,
and
it's pretty
then
cool.
they tried to hug the west coast of Africa, and they couldn't.
They couldn't do it.
The force of the currents forced them towards Florida, towards the Gulf.
Yeah, in fact,
and they tried to not do that, but they kept going around Africa until they got within 300 or 400 miles of Florida. And Keith Johnson was in Florida then, who was on that ship, but then got off later, saying, come to Florida, come to Florida.
Yeah.
And Captain Beale said, no, we're going to go and we're going to circumnavigate. So they forced themselves out of the Florida route up north and caught the Northerns back into Gibraltar.
Yeah, so bottom line, it was kind of funny because Keith Johnson and I, obviously, we were watching, and they had a technology that was kind of cool. About every 3 or 4 days, the ship would beam up their GPS
yeah.
coordinates of where they were in the ocean, and then sometimes it had a little spiel by Captain Beale about what was going on the ship, you know. And we were watching the ship's logs, and as they left Africa, and they're going to.
Oh, that's right.
trying
You
to
were
go up
watching
here.
that.
And,
That's
and,
right.
and so every 2 or 3 days, we'd get an update on their website with the blip. This is where they are, and then an explanation. And you had Captain Beale was going, we can't get back to Africa because of the shape
Right.
of the ship.